All right, let's just jump right into this. Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're unpacking some seriously profound, timeless wisdom from the Kathopanishad. We're going to be exploring this absolutely fascinating, true philosophical account from thousands of years ago about a young boy who literally came face to face with the god of death. It's a story that actually promises to completely cure the human mind of its ultimate fear. So let's kick things off with literally the ultimate question, the one that has haunted humanity for, well, millennia. What actually happens to us when we die? I mean, we spend pretty much our entire lives ignoring this reality, right? We just push it to the back of our minds. But what if someone didn't look away? What if someone looked death right in the eyes and demanded to know exactly what lies on the other side? To answer that, we turn to the incredible protagonist of our explainer today. Meet an 8-year-old boy named Nachiketa. Now, he wasn't some powerful king or a seasoned ancient sage. He was literally just an 8-year-old kid. Yet somehow, he possessed the unimaginable courage to demand the ultimate truth directly from the source, Yama, the god of death himself.
Section 1, Challenge to the God of Death, the catalyst for the journey. So we really need to understand the dramatic event that led a mere child to challenge the ultimate authority of mortality. Like, why did he even do it?
Well, here's why. Nachiketa's father, who was a great sage, was performing this grand sacrifice where he was supposed to give away all of his wealth. But driven by greed, he hypocritically held back all his best assets and only gave away these old, dying cows that couldn't even eat grass. Seeing this hypocrisy, Nachiketa was suddenly filled with this profound concept called Shraddha. Now, Shraddha isn't just blind faith. It's the absolute crystal-clear ability to see truth as truth and a lie as a lie. This clarity was so powerful for him that it completely erased his fear of authority and actually his fear of death. He realized this fake, greedy sacrifice would only lead his father suffering, and he felt he absolutely had to intervene. Driven by this profound clarity and honestly a deep love for his dad, he approached him and asked a question that brought a dead, awkward silence to the whole ceremony. He said, "Since you have to give away your most prized possessions, who will you give me to?" Well, his father just ignored him, so the kid asked a second time, and then a third time. Pushed right to the absolute brink by his son's relentless pursuit of the truth, his dad completely lost his temper and shouted, "I give you to death." And just like that, boom, the father's angry words sealed the boy's fate. But you know what? Nachiketa didn't even flinch. Demonstrating just unimaginable resolve, this young boy marched straight down to the underworld. Now, when he got there, Yama wasn't even home, so Nachiketa just sat at the gates of the underworld and waited. He waited for 3 full days and 3 full nights without a single bite of food or a single drop of water, just waiting for death to return.
Section 2, Yama's 3 boons, the apology of death. Let's look at what happens when death finally shows up. As you can imagine, Yama was totally horrified to find that a guest had been kept waiting and starving right at his front door.
So, to make amends for this massive blunder, a deeply apologetic Yama grants the boy 3 boons, or wishes. First, Nachiketa, showing incredible compassion here, asks that his father's anger be cooled and that he welcomes him back with love. Yama grants it, no problem. Second, he asks for the knowledge of the heavenly fire ritual. Yama is so blown away by the boy's intellect that he teaches him this complex science and even names the fire after him. But it's this third boon where things get really, really intense. For his final boon, Nachiketa goes for it. He asks the ultimate question. He demands to know, when a person dies, does the pure soul actually survive, or is everything completely finished? Now, when Nachiketa dropped this question, the ground beneath Yama's feet literally slipped. I mean, he expected the kid to ask for, toys or maybe kingdoms, but instead, this boy is asking for the key to the universe's biggest vault, absolute self-knowledge. Section 3, the universe's greatest temptation, the ultimate test. Yama knows this sacred knowledge cannot just be handed out to anyone off the street. The stakes are raised, and Yama initiates a massive test of character. Terrified of revealing this immense secret to someone who might not be ready, Yama actually tries to bribe the kid. He offers him a 100-year lifespan, boundless kingdoms, limitless gold, and beautiful celestial dancers. Let's be real for a second. Most of us would fold immediately for just a fraction of that, right? He basically tells the boy, listen, ask for literally anything else, be the king of the earth, just don't force me to reveal the secret of death. But Nachiketa, He rejects it all. He fires back with this devastating realization. Worldly pleasures, they only drain the energy of our senses. He points out that a 100-year lifespan is absolutely nothing. It's a blip compared to eternity. He tells death to keep the chariots in the dances, demanding nothing but the eternal truth.
Section 4. The choice, Preyas and Shreyas, the human dilemma. At this point, Yama is completely disarmed. With deep, deep respect for the boy's unbreakable resolve, Death drops the tough guy act and transforms into a teacher.
Yama introduces the fundamental choice that you, me, and literally every human faces every single day. We are constantly torn between two paths. First, there's Preyas, which is the path of instant gratification. It's super sweet at first, driven entirely by our egos and the endless pursuit of material things. But it always ends in weakness and sorrow. On the flip side, we have Shreyas, the path of ultimate good. Now, this one requires surrender. It often feels difficult, maybe even bitter at first, but it is the true path that leads to ultimate peace and freedom. Yama explains that sadly, most people blindly choose Preyas, kind of acting like the blind leading the blind, straight into a ditch.
Section 5. The secret of life's chariot, mapping the human struggle. So that begs the question, why do we constantly make the wrong choice? To explain this, Yama reveals what is arguably the absolute masterpiece of this entire philosophy.
Yama perfectly maps our human existence to a chariot. This is a flawless blueprint for understanding all of your internal struggles. Think of it like this. Your physical body is the chariot itself. Your five senses, what you see, hear, taste, those are the horses pulling it. Your mind, your fluctuating emotions, those are the reins. Your intellect, which is your ability to reason and discern, is the driver holding those reins. And finally, the true self, the eternal soul, is simply the passenger, sitting quietly in the back, going along for the ride.
So the absolutely crucial point here is what happens when things go wrong. When your intellect, that driver, falls asleep at the wheel or gets weak, it can't hold the reins tightly. As a result, your mind loses control, and your senses violently drag you into endless, exhausting distractions. The horses basically run wild into the ditches of modern life. We're talking doom scrolling, junk food, gossip, endless consumerism. And the passenger, your true self, it's just helplessly tossed around, feeling all the misery of the crash.
Section 6. Becoming immortal while alive. Taking back the reins. Okay, so how do we fix this? How do we wake up our intellect and actually realize who that true passenger within us is? First, Yama explains the true nature of that passenger. He says your true self is exactly like the empty space inside a clay pot. Imagine taking a hammer and smashing that pot, which represents our fragile physical body. The form is completely destroyed, the name of the pot is gone. But does the space inside the pot die? No way. It simply merges seamlessly with the infinite space outside. It remains completely eternal and untouched. Yama is saying you are that space. You are not the fragile clay pot. To actually realize this inner space for yourself, Yama reveals a remarkably powerful tool. He explains that meditating on the sound which is the supreme fundamental vibration of the universe, is the ultimate weapon. It acts just like a bow. You use it to focus your energy, hit the target of truth, and forcefully awaken that sleeping intellect so it can finally grab hold of the reins once again. So there are 4 highly actionable steps in this reverse process, which is called pratolome. Normally, our energy rushes constantly outward, but here you reverse it. Step 1. You actively withdraw your senses from all the external noise of the world. Step 2. You quiet that wandering, anxious mind that's constantly demanding your attention. Step 3. You firmly anchor that mind using a sharp, awakened intellect. And step 4, finally, you merge that intellect completely into pure, silent consciousness. Essentially, you pull away from the chaos and anchor deep, deep within. Now, Yama makes it clear, he warns, that this path is as difficult as walking on a razor's edge. It requires immense, unwavering discipline, but it is so profoundly essential that it actually inspired Swami Vivekananda's legendary life mantra, arise, awake, and stop not till the goal is reached. It is a massive wake-up call to awaken your intellect and never ever settle for the cheap illusions of the material world until you achieve true, lasting self-realization. Because the truth is, when you finally drop your worldly desires and realize that you are indeed that infinite space, you don't even have to wait for the afterlife. You become immortal, right here, right now, completely free from the fear of death. So as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one final thought, truly inspired by the unbelievable courage of that 8-year-old boy. Ask yourself, are you ready to take back the reins of your chariot and awaken the inner Nachiketa today?